Hello my friends, welcome back to another Vinyasa practice. Today we are working up into Tittibhasana or Firefly Pose, which is a super fun and cool arm balance that we haven't actually touched on in a while. I have no idea why, but it requires quite a bit of strength through the hands, the forearms, the upper body and the core. And it also requires flexibility through the back body, the spine, because it is a forward bend, as well as the hamstrings. So we will be working into those parts of the body today. And this is a short form version of a longer class that we have in our Patreon account. We go over the asana in a little bit more depth, so I'm more prepped and primed to be able to practice Tittibhasana. And we also include pranayama breathwork as well as meditation. So it becomes a really full, well-rounded practice. Anyway, we're going to get started in a cross-legged position, but I encourage you to swap the feet out. So whatever foot you had in front, just cross it out. And you can either stay seated or we can come into our first forward bend. So take a deep breath in through the nose as you lift up tall. And then as you exhale, just walking the hands out a little bit. Doesn't need to be big or bold or anything like that. If the elbows bend down to the ground, you can also welcome that, but we want this position to be comfortable. Find breath in the back of the ribs, so use your inhalation to puff up through the upper back. Push your ribs to the side. And then as you exhale, maybe dropping down a little bit deeper. If you haven't already closed your eyes, maybe you do so now. Letting this be a transition point within our practice. Taking a moment of pause to recognize that this next 30 minutes or so is just about you and playing in your body. We can let go of thoughts about needing to be somewhere else or needing to do things. Of course, I notice those thoughts pop up. Sometimes when I practice, it is totally normal. But to the best of our ability, we want to try and let that go. Just with ease, let it pass out of the mind using a breath. Because it means that we can be more fully present with ourselves. Let's take about 3 more breaths. See if you can make the upper body a little bit heavier, allowing more space to creep up into the back. When you're ready, just walk yourself back. Find our way into a tabletop position. So hands come underneath the shoulders, knees come underneath the hips. Spread the fingertips wide and take some circles on the wrists. So circling out in one direction, making these circles small or as big as feels good, and then circling out in the other direction. And you might stay with the fingertips pointing forward. You could flip one hand back and maybe start to lean forward or back. You can always go into 2 hands as well here if you'd like. If you're on the one hand, just flip it back around. Other hand, we're going to flip that behind. And then coming back through center, back of the hands are going to come down to the ground so that all of the fingertips, the fingernails are pressing down. And maybe it feels good to lean back, lean forward a little bit. Just creating some space through the wrists before we bring any sort of weight, sort of resistance to them. Come back through center, a few rounds of our cat and cow. Breathe in as you drop the belly down, look forward, squeeze the shoulder blades down the spine. As you exhale, push away from the ground, round up through the upper back. Inhaling to open, broadening the collarbones, lifting the tailbone. Exhale to push, lengthen the arms. Maybe you take a few kind of side to side movements here, maybe forward and back. Maybe the hips shift back a little bit. Maybe your shoulders shift forward a little bit. And then coming back through center, a couple of different options for where we can go next. The first option is a kneeling plank. So you're going to walk your knees back a little bit, shoulders stay over the wrists, but the spine and the legs along here. If you felt like more, tuck onto the toes, lift the knees off the ground, push the heels away, feeling the quadriceps and the glutes engage a little bit, as well as the core. Now feel free to stay with your palms on the ground. If you felt like a little bit more, come to your right fingertips, lifting the palm off, and then your left fingertips. And then the right palm comes down, and the left palm comes down. Left fingertips, right fingertips, left palm, right palm. Let's go one more of each. Breathe in. Breathe out, left fingertips. Breathe in, try to keep the hips still. Exhale, left hand. Breathe in to lift. Exhale, right. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Drop the heels over to the right. Lift your left hand up to the sky, side plank. You can always bring the right knee down here for a bit more support if you'd like. If you felt like a little bit more, start to pick up the left knee. Tap the left toes behind you, just behind the right knee. We're not twisting the hips or anything here. Breathe in as you lift the left knee back up. And then as you exhale, tap it in front of the right knee. Breathe it in to lift. Exhale behind. Inhale to lift. Exhale in front. One more of each. Whew. Really feeling this through the right shoulder. This time, breathe in, look forward. You're going to take a big step forward with the left foot. Land the left foot down. Hop your right foot forward a little bit. Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. And I encourage you to take some movement here. So moving your hips around, forward and back, side to side, twisting the spine a little bit. Maybe pivoting onto the feet. What happens if you bend your knees? Maybe one at a time. Maybe two at a time. Creating space within the hip joint, the hamstring, the adductor. Let's go one more breath. Walk your left foot out to the outside of the mat. Right foot steps outside the right hand. Turn the toes out, bend the knees, Malasana, garland pose. Hands come to heart center. Engage through the glutes. Knees are pressing out wide. Shoulders are squeezing down. And maybe you stay with your hands connected to your heart. If you felt like a little bit more, maybe hands reach forward. You're really trying to activate through the glutes to pull the knees wide. And I should say that if the heels are off the ground, that is totally fine as well. We're going to take a slow rise to standing, taking maybe 3 breaths to get there. So breathing in, starting to lift. Don't skip out the hard low part. Slow it down, almost like an escalator. We're not rushing here. Turn the toes forward, breathe in, lift the arms, squeeze the glutes. As you exhale, hands come behind the hips. Just a little push of the hips forward, Ustrasana, camel pose. Drawing the shoulder blades down the spine. Walk feet underneath the hips, breathe in, lift the arms. As you exhale, warrior 3, right foot reaches back, torso reaches forward, and maybe you stay more parallel with the ground. If you wanted to, dive your heart space down a little bit more, lift the right toes up a little bit higher, standing splits. You can always bring fingertips to the ground as well. Make sure the right hip isn't opening up too much. You want it in line with the left. Fingertips to the ground, breathe in, long step back with the right toes, bring the right knee down, exhale. Breathe in, left hand reaches high. Maybe you stay with the right hand on the ground, or as you exhale, lift yourself up, active twist, right hand reaches forward, left hand back. If you wanted more, left hand down the right back of the leg, breathe in. Exhale, find a little back bend here, reaching the right fingertips up and over, hips drop forward. Hands to the ground for a moment. Breathe in as you walk into a wide-legged forward fold, turning to the right side of the mat. Exhale to fold, drop the chin into the chest. Turn to the back, plant the hands to frame out the right foot. Breathe in, step back into a plank. Knees or toes, chaturanga, we lower for 4, 3, 2, come halfway. We push back to high plank. Breathe in, same thing, lower for 4, 3, 2, 1, push back to high plank. Breathe in, lower for 4, 3, 2, 1, come down onto the belly. Whew. Untuck the toes, breathe in, baby cobra, engage the glutes, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, push up onto your knees. Tuck toes, downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Maybe a little shake out of the head here. And then a nod of the head. Pushing the hands into the ground, lifting the hips up and back, lengthening the legs. And then rolling forward into a plank position again. So remember, you can have the knees down here. Maybe you're on the toes. You can always walk the feet a little bit wider, which will help with your balance and keeping the hips still. Okay, if you felt like more, come to left fingertips. Breathe in. Exhale for right. Inhale, left palm drops. Exhale, right palm. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. One more of each. Inhale. Exhale. This is just preparing our forearms a little bit more and our hand. Right hand comes down. Make sure the fingertips are wide here. That's going to help your balance. Right hand comes down. Left hand comes down. Drop the heels to the left. Open side plank. Left shoulder is on top of the rest. Remember, you can bring the left knee down here. If you felt like more, right toes lift. Breathe in. Tap the right toes behind the left knee. But don't twist the hips. Breathe in to lift again. Exhale to tap it in front. Breathe in to lift. Exhale to tap. Slide the shoulders down. Breathe and lift. Exhale, tap. One more. Breathe in. Exhale, keep lifting the hips up. One more. Breathe in. Look forward. Big step forward with your right foot. Left foot comes forward as well. Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. Left heel is grounded. You can always walk your hands up a little bit higher if you needed a bit more space. Again, just take some movement here. Bending, twisting, lifting. We want to think about forward bending here if that helps, as well as getting into the back of the right leg. So doing whatever feels good for you that allows for that to happen. When you're ready, come back through center, walk the right foot to the outer edge of the mat. Set the left foot wide as well. Breathe in, start to bend the knees, toes are out. Exhale, hands to heart center, shoulders draw back. Maybe you stay with the hands at heart or extend the hands forward. Find a little bit more activeness, a little bit more of a lift. Slow rise to standing. Taking your time, especially in that bottom part. Once you get to the top, turn the toes forward, breathe in, lift up the hands. As you exhale, hands come behind the back. Ustrasana, camel pose. Finding a bit of an extension through the spine. Walk feet underneath the hips. Breathe in, lift the arms. As you exhale, warrior 3, left foot reaches back this time. Hands at heart center. And maybe you stay more parallel with the ground if you wanted to challenge your balance a little bit more, as well as your hamstrings, especially that right one. Standing splits with the hands off the ground. Can you make your left leg a little longer? Fingertips to the ground, breathe in, long step back with the left foot. Exhale, left knee comes down to the ground. Breathe in, right hand reaches high, twisted lunge. Maybe you stay here. As you exhale, active twist, left hand reaches forward. One final option, right hand comes behind towards the left thigh. Breathe in. Exhale, little back bend. Keep pushing the hips forward. Hands come to the ground, breathe in, walk to the side of the mat again, wide-legged forward fold, turn the toes in, exhale, fold. Walk the hands to the front, breathe in, frame out your left foot. As you exhale, step back into plank position. Shift your weight forward on your breath in. Exhale, lower 4, 3, 2, 1, and then push your way back up, breathe in. Exhale, lower 4, 3, 2, 1, push back up, breathe in. Exhale, lower 4, 3, 2, 1, push back up. Ooh, I think I accidentally added an extra 1 in, breathe in. Lower 4, 3, 2, 1, use your next breath in, pull through, maybe baby cobra or upward facing dog. And then come back into downward facing dog. And then hands walk to the back of the mat, forward fold at the back. Little tuck in of the chin, although you can always bring hands underneath your feet, bringing toes to the wrist creases. Nice way just to let go of any tension through the wrists or the hands. And then just unwind your hands. Feel free to stand forward fold, or if you wanted to practice your first Kakasana, crow pose, as just a way to find balance, bringing more weight into the hands. You're going to bring the hands about shoulder width distance, pulling the elbows back. Your knees are going to land at the back of the elbows. As you shift your weight forward, keep the eye gaze underneath you, and maybe you stay here, or you could lift one foot up to the butt. Maybe the other foot as well. And feeling the weight come into the palm and the fingertips. Feeling a slight core activation as well. And you can hold there for as long as possible. Whenever you feel ready to come out, you can just clasp your hands into fists and roll out the wrist a little bit. Maybe pressing the back of the hands together. Okay, we've got one more sequence that we'll do once each side. A little bit more upper body wrist work, as well as some other fun things. When you're ready, downward facing dog. Lift the hips up. Breathe in, right toes sweep high, three-legged dog. Exhale, roll forward, right knee to nose. Right knee to right elbow, step the right foot outside the right hand. Come to fingertips, breathe in, left knee to left tricep. Squeeze the left foot in. Exhale, step the left foot back, come back to lunge. Hands plant, breathe in, three-legged dog. Right toes sweep high. Exhale, roll forward, step the right foot outside the right hand. Same thing, breathe in, left knee comes forward. Exhale, step it back. Breathe in, right toes sweep high. Exhale, step it forward. Breathe in, left knee to left armpit. Exhale, step it back. Let's go 2 more. Breathe in to lift. Exhale, roll forward. Mindful movement here. Don't rush it. Breathe in. Exhale. 1 more. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in. This time hold. Make sure you're on fingertips here. Squeeze the left foot into the glutes. If you felt like more, right hand lifts off and tries to bind towards the left hip. 1 more breath. A little bit of strength for the right leg as well. Lengthen the right leg, lift the hips up, standing splits but with the left knee bent. Left fingertips are still on the ground. If you felt like more, right hand can connect to the left foot. Maybe you find the bind and you kick into the left foot a little bit more. Lifting the left hand, left knee up to the sky. Feeling a bit more length down the right back of the leg. 1 more breath. Long step back with the left foot, warrior 2. Breathe in, open to the left. Maybe wiggle the right foot so it's in line with the middle of the back foot. Exhale, hold. Drop into the hips, flip the right hand, breathe in, reverse. Exhale, hold. Breathe in, come back through center, right elbow to right thigh. Exhale, left hand up and over. Tittibhasana, extended side angle. If you felt like more, you can find a bind here. Right hand drops down to the ground, drop into your hips. Left hand comes behind towards the right hip. Maybe you stay here, or you could drop the right shoulder down a bit more. Right hand comes underneath to bind with the left hand. If you do manage to get the bind, can you lift up a little bit? Drop the hips a little bit lower though. Start to lengthen the right leg, imagining triangle pose here. You can keep your hands in the bind, although you can always unwind, bring the right hand down to the shin or the floor. If you had a block nearby, you can always bring it in. One more breath. My right leg is feeling it. Turn to the front. Left hand plants, breathe in, twisted lunge. Exhale to hold. Okay, Vinyasa side plank. You can step the right foot back. If you want a little bit more, peace fingers come around the right big toe. Shift your left heel down. Right foot is going to lift up to the sky. Just know that we haven't really warmed up into this too much, but for those who wanted to try it, you can give it a go. Take another deep breath in. As you exhale, slow release of the right toes, wild thing. Plant the right toes down, reach the right hand forward, engage the glutes. Hold for another breath in. And then as you exhale, look down, plant the right hand, maybe a vinyasa, although you can skip it out as well. Ooh. I should have said this was going to be spicy for the legs rather than the rest, although still spice for the rest, but man, my right leg is feeling it. Okay, one more time on the other side. Breathe in, sweep the left toes high, three-legged dog. Exhale, roll forward, left knee to left elbow. Step the left foot outside, come to fingertips. Breathe in, right knee to right armpit. Exhale, extend it back. Breathe in, sweep it high, left toes left. Exhale, roll forward, step it outside the left hand, come to fingertips. Breathe in, right knee to right armpit. Squeeze the right foot in, step it back, exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in, light as you can. Exhale. Two more times, breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. One more. This time we hold, right knee to right armpit. Maybe you stay here. Maybe the left hand binds towards the right hip. Stay here for one more breath. Lower your hips down a little bit. Standing splits with the right knee bent. Lift the hips up. Lengthen the left leg. Maybe you stay with the hand behind the back, or you can reach it to the right foot. If it does bind, see if you can kick into it. This is going to create a bit more of a stretch for the left hamstring as well as the right hip flexor. One more breath. Warrior two. Long step back with the right foot. Take a deep breath in as you open your arms wide. Hips and shoulders square to the side. Exhale, sink into it. Flip the left hand, breathe in, reverse. Exhale, hold. Stay low, breathe in, elbow comes to thigh. Exhale, right hand comes up and over, a little engagement through the glutes here. Maybe you stay here if you wanted to find a bind. Left hand can reach down. Right hand can come behind the back. Maybe you stay here or left hand reaches underneath. And you try and pull yourself out of your leg. Keep pushing the right foot into the ground. When you're ready, start to lengthen your left leg. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Remember, you can always release the left hand as well. Roll the right shoulder back, right hip back. Breathe in, right hand comes to the ground. Twisted lunge, lift the left hand high. Exhale to hold. Again, you can step straight back into Vinyasa, or left piece fingers come around the left big toe, right heel drops down to the side, and you lift yourself up. Slide the shoulders down the spine. As you're ready for it, light, let go of the left toes, wild thing. Left toes plant down, reach the left hand forward, push your hips up, take a breath in. Hold for your exhale, engage the glutes. Left hand comes down to the ground, plank position, breathe in. Exhale your vinyasa. Come back into a child's pose. When you're ready, just walk your hands back towards your knees. Come up into a kneeling position. As your heart rate just drops down a little bit, I'll show you how to get into Firefly Tittibhasana if you wanted to play with it, but I'll provide options along the way. First option, stay here. Second option, crow pose. Third option is a pose called Bhujapadasana, which is our shoulder pressure pose. You can take your feet wide as if you were about to sink into Malasana. Hands are going to come behind the feet. Spread the fingertips wide. You're going to bend your elbows so that the thighs can come down. And then your feet will walk together, trying to create a lock where the heel comes on top of the other heel. And then you'll lift up that way. Okay, this is a great building block to Tittibhasana because it's basically the same position, but Firefly, you're going to extend your toes out and then lift, lengthen your arms, round through the upper back. And then you can come down and shake it out. We won't have too long to play, maybe just another minute or so if you wanted to have that a go. So it actually takes quite a lot of strength to push down, strength through the shoulders, strength through the back to lift yourself up. Of course, you can pause the video as well, and anytime you need to come out, shake the wrists, come down here, hang out with me. Okay, when you're ready, come down. Roll yourself down onto your belly. Just one or two asanas to kind of cool down before we head onto our backs. Once you're here, either right hand or right elbow comes to the side, left toes turn high. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, open your chest to the left. So the right elbow is just going to make this position a little bit more intense for the chest. You can always extend the fingertips out long. This is a really nice way to kind of counter the positions that we were just in. So we were just finding deep flexion. Now we're trying to find extension through the spine a little bit, as well as the front line of the body. One more breath. Roll yourself back through center, swap out to the other side. Left elbow or left hand comes around, and then the right foot comes around as well. You might press through the right hand to help travel the right shoulder back a bit more. You could always take the right hand behind the back. Sometimes that feels quite nice. Maybe closing down the eyes here. Coming back through center. Walk the hands out just a little bit in front of you. Engage the glutes and press yourself up into an extended cobra, Bhujangasana. If you felt like more, you can walk your hands a little bit closer to you. Sometimes I just like to move my shoulders, kind of twisting the spine a little bit. Create space between the shoulders and the ears. Just go one more breath. And then when you're ready, just shifting your hips back a little bit. Let's find our way onto our backs. If there are any final asanas that you would like to do before Shavasana, go for it. Otherwise, I'm going to draw my right knee to the chest, find a twist, taking the right knee over to the left. You could always extend the right foot out here for a little bit more of a stretch down the side of the right leg. If you're with me, we'll just swap to the other side. So drawing the left knee in, taking a deep breath in. As we exhale, twisting the knee or the leg to the right. I like to shift my hips over to the left a little bit more before I twist, just to help with the rotation. Keep the left shoulder down. And then come back through center. Find your way into Shavasana. Maybe with your toes extended out long, with your knees and your hips rolling out. Find a little tuck in of the chin, maybe squeezing the shoulder blades or shifting them underneath your body a little bit. Close down the eyes. Slow down the breath. And finishing our practice how we started with this transition pose, one where we get to let the ripples of our movement and our breath and our practice just assimilate and form. We'll just be here for another minute or two and I'll let you know when it's time to transition out. I will leave us here in Shavasana. If you did have a little bit longer to stay here once the class finishes, I would so encourage you to stay, even if it's just for a few more breaths. And thank you so much for practicing with me, playing and finding time for you. Just a reminder, we do have a long form video version of this class on our Patreon. It's 70 minutes, and if you had fun today and you wanted more, that is there for you, waiting for you. It's got your name on it. But either way, hopefully I'll see you on the mat sometime soon. Namaste.